Erika Tesla here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for deciding to click on this video, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. It's so good to have you here. Today I wanted to talk to you about the brand new Nomad Cosmetics release, which is their travel series of palettes. These 3 palettes represent 3 airports that they decided to focus color stories on. And so the look I have on today includes shadows from all 3 of these palettes. So each palette comes with 6 shades, and as you can see, it is incredibly travel friendly. I love the format of these. I think that these are really nice to be able to pop into your travel bag and take with you if you do happen to be actually traveling with these. Otherwise, I think Nomad did a nice job curating the color stories for these. So they were kind enough to send these to me. So thank you to Nomad Cosmetics for sharing these with me. So I'm going to talk about the palettes, and I'm going to throw up some swatches of each palette and get into the look and then share my final thoughts. So as you can see, we have this really pretty Canadian Rockies palette. And so for the look that I'll show you guys, I ended up using the shade Find Your Peak. This is such a stunning matte shade. So while I'm talking about it, I'm going to throw up the swatches that I did. But the colors in here are really beautiful shades of green. There's no overlap in terms of the tones or anything like that, which can sometimes be a challenge with monochromatic palettes. You have colors that are a little bit too close to one another. But I think that the ratio is also nice too. You have 4 mattes and 2 shimmers in here. I find that these shimmers applied really nicely with my finger. You could use a brush, but I think that as with a lot of shimmer shades, you tend to get more intensity and payoff if you use your fingers. So I used both of the shimmers in this palette for this look, and I was pretty happy with the colors and how they applied. Then we have the Oslo Airport palette, and I used the shade Functional, which is like this deepest shade here, and you have these other really beautiful like neutral tones. Again, you have the same ratio of mattes to shimmers, so 4 mattes and 2 shimmers. And the metallic shades, well, they're silver. There is enough nuance and difference here between the 2. So Nordic Cool is going to give you more of that pewter metallic shade color, and then Democratic Design is more of a bright silver. And so I would say of the 3 palettes, this is probably the one that's going to be like the most versatile in terms of wearability, because these are just very universally everyday wearable shades. So it's truly like a cool tone neutral palette, and it's super travel friendly, which I think is a plus. And then finally, just to chat a little bit about the Abu Dhabi palette, we've got again the 4 mattes, the 2 shimmers, which are so stunning. So you've got Golden Hour, which is like this rose gold toned shimmer, and then we've got Desert Oasis, which is kind of reminding me of like a penny shade, like a really bright copper shade. So all 3 of the palettes are incredibly beautiful. They swatch really well, and I enjoyed applying these. I thought that the mattes performed really well. And again, with these shimmers, when I was swatching them, I think finger swatching, finger application is definitely the way to go with these. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the look that I did with the 3 palettes so you can see what I did and let me know like what you guys think of this look. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and then I will come back and share some final thoughts with you guys. Okay, my friends, so that was the look, and as you can see, I used shades from all three of the palettes, and I think that that is, you know, not necessary. I mean, I think you can definitely use these palettes on their own. So if there's one in particular that you really like, you can absolutely go ahead and, like, you know, just pick your preferred favorite. I'm looking up the pricing of this for you guys. So these are already available. If you go on the Nomad website, they're $22 each, which I think is actually a very reasonable price point for a 6-pan palette of this quality. If you buy a Viseart Petit Four quad for 4 shades, not on sale, you're gonna pay about $25. Again, that brand also has like an incredible formula, so I think that the pricing is fair. It's really on par for the quality of the products that you get. So you can buy these palettes either in a bundle, which includes the original palette, which is the original Nomad Air The Travel Eyeshadow palette. I don't think that one was named after a specific airport, but that one is also a neutral palette, but it leans more on like the true like neutral tone side of things versus the Oslo palette, which is more cool tone. And there's also a very cute Nomad Air travel tote bag if you're interested in that. That can come either separately or in a bundle that includes all 4 palettes. And so if you were interested in the palette bundle that has all 4 palettes and the tote bag, excuse me, that would be $88. The tote bag by itself is going to cost you $22. So you save $22. Basically, if you buy all 4 palettes, you get the tote bag for free if you buy the bundle. I do have a code with Nomad Cosmetics, Erika, which saves you 10%. So if you're interested in that, definitely feel free to use my code. I will include that in the description box down below. But of course, you're under no obligation to do that. Just make sure if you do have interest in purchasing anything from this release or anything else on Nomad's site, you can usually use a content creator's code to save a little bit of money. As far as my thoughts on these palettes, I think that they are really beautiful. They swatched really beautifully. I have, you know, I had really good success, especially with the mattes applying. As you guys know, I've talked about this before. For me, applying matte shadows, like the formula can make a really big difference in terms of, you know, if you have like textured lids, it can be a challenge if the matte formula is not cooperating, which this one was. So I used my typical technique of kind of dabbing the shadows and then blending it and building it up. And these are very buildable. I would say that with the Abu Dhabi palette, like these shades were really buildable. And with the Canadian Rockies palette, this shade, Find Your Peak, oh my gosh, guys, like that went on like just full impact, full color. So I really like the color stories. I like the formula. My wish list for Nomad is, if they continue with this series, would be to include destinations with some brighter color stories. I mentioned to a subscriber that I think it would be really cool to see them do different airports in different parts of the world, like Africa, the Caribbean, and even South America. So for example, if they did like Rio Airport, something with like a bright yellow and a bright green, and if they did something in the Caribbean, the colors that evoke the feelings of carnival, and in Africa, you have so many beautiful different types of fabrics depending on which country you're in. So pulling those different themes in, I think, could be really cool. So that is just something that when I saw this release, I was inspired by seeing these particular color stories and how they evoke the feelings of those locations. So I would really think it would be cool if that sometime down the road, obviously they just released this collection, but if they did more collections in this same vein to pull in some really fun, bright, vibrant colors as well. But they do have a lot of bright colors throughout their repertoire of palettes. So it's not like Nomad doesn't have bright colors. I think they have a number of really gorgeous palettes. Like they just released the, I think the Irish Atlantic Way palette, which is super duper beautiful. You've got like those really bright vibrant greens, you have Royal Europe, you have quite a few palettes that are already very bright and colorful, just not in this particular format. So I think it could be a really nice idea to have a 6-pan bright palette that someone could use as like a companion palette. Just a thought. But overall, I think this is a really nice collection. If you already enjoy Nomad palettes, you're going to enjoy this, and if you enjoy these color stories, you're going to have a lot of fun. And I think these are palettes that you would get a lot of use out of. I would say the Canadian Rockies one, I would say, is like the most fun one, just because of this shade, Find Your Peak. Unreal. Like, it's just such a stunning shade, such a stunning shade. So overall, such a really cool collection. I'm so thankful to my friends at Nomad for sharing these with me, and appreciate them sending them my way. I had a lot of fun doing this eye look. Now I would like to know what you guys think about these. Are you interested in them? Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. You know I love to hear from you guys. Please make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video if you enjoy content like this, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it, and would love to have you join my little corner of the internet where we chat about makeup and we keep it really chill over here. So with that being said, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with me today. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.